Here is the ultra-long, deeply detailed, fully paraphrased version you asked for. Every single fact, timeline, name, event, and nuance from the original is kept 100% intact, but rewritten in completely fresh, natural, flowing English with extra depth, atmosphere, and emotional weight so it can easily carry a 30 to 35-minute narration video. Bill Hemmer has been the calm, unmistakable voice of American television news for almost 30 years. He stood on the pile at Ground Zero in the days after September 11th. He broadcast live from Afghan mountain ridges and the dusty streets of Baghdad while bullets cracked overhead. He anchored every presidential election night, every Supreme Court showdown, every hurricane landfall, and every moment the country held its breath since the hanging Chad chaos of Florida in 2000. To millions of viewers, his face means something big is happening, and his voice means you can trust what you're hearing. Yet there is one story this master storyteller has never told, his own. At 60 years old, Bill Hemmer has never walked down the aisle. He has never posted an anniversary picture, never brought a wife to a White House Correspondents' Dinner, never mentioned children waiting at home. The only long-term relationship the public ever knew about was an 8-year romance with Canadian supermodel Dara Tomanovic that ended without warning in 2013, followed by absolute silence. Since then, the rumor factory has run non-stop: affairs with co-anchors, secret orientations, heartbreak, commitment phobia, even a doctored shirtless photo in 2019 that forced him to go on air and shut down speculation about his sexuality. But all of those headlines miss the far quieter, far more profound truth. Sometimes the price of being the person the nation turns to when the world is on fire is that there is simply no oxygen left for a private life. The road that led Bill Hemmer to that unique, lonely perch began in Cincinnati, Ohio, in the late 1970s. As a high school kid at Elder High, he was already behind a microphone every morning, hosting a student-run radio show that mixed music, sports scores, and teenage commentary. Classmates remember him treating that little 10-watt station like it was the CBS Evening News. He showed up early, rewrote the scripts himself, and stayed late to edit the tapes. This wasn't a hobby, it was a preview. At Miami University in Oxford, Ohio, he double-majored in broadcast journalism and political science, interned at every station that would have him, and graduated in 1987 with one goal: get on air, anywhere, as fast as possible. His first real job was at WCPO-TV, the ABC affiliate back home in Cincinnati, covering sports. Reporters who worked the desk next to him still talk about the rookie who volunteered for every overnight shift, every blizzard, every high school state championship no one else wanted, because he wanted to be where the action was. That hunger caught CNN's eye. In 1995, at age 30, Hemmer moved to Atlanta and stepped onto the national stage. For the next 10 years he became one of CNN's go-to correspondents for everything that mattered. He spent 36 straight days in Tallahassee during the 2000 Bush Gore recount, sleeping in a rental car, eating cold pizza on the courthouse steps, and earning the nickname, Chad Lad, for his relentless reporting on hanging, swinging, dimpled, and pregnant Chads. When the towers fell in 2001, he was on a plane to Pakistan within 48 hours, then embedded with U.S. forces in Afghanistan. Later he would spend months in Iraq, broadcasting under night vision green skies while tracer rounds streaked overhead. In 2005 he made the jump that would define the second half of his career: he joined Fox News. He started co-anchoring America's Newsroom, eventually settling into a decade-plus partnership with Dana Perino that turned the morning show into appointment television for millions. Their rhythm, his steady baritone, her quick wit, became one of the most trusted 2 hours in cable news, but being the guy the network calls at 3 a.m. when the world cracks open comes with a hidden cost most viewers never see. Consider a single year in the life of Bill Hemmer: January, on the ground in Iowa for the caucuses. February, New Hampshire primary, South Carolina, Nevada. Summer, both political conventions, back-to-back. Fall, 6 battleground states in 6 weeks for the general election. Then throw in 2 or 3 hurricanes, a mass shooting, a Supreme Court nomination fight, or a Middle East flare-up, and suddenly he's on a plane again with 12 hours notice. that is not a life that leaves much margin for date nights, weekend getaways, or the slow, patient work of building a marriage. The one time the public got a sustained look at Bill Hemmer in a serious relationship was from roughly 2005 to 2013 with Dara Tomanovic. She was a genuine international supermodel, discovered at 18 by Karl Lagerfeld on a Paris street, the face of Chloe for half a decade, a fixture in British Vogue, French Elle, and L'Oréal campaigns. They were an odd couple on paper, the serious Midwestern newsman and the glamorous Canadian beauty who walked runways in Milan and partied with rock stars. Yet for 8 years they made it work, quietly. They were photographed together at a handful of charity galas and Fashion Week front rows, but never gave interviews about each other, never posted couple selfies, never explained anything. Then, in the summer of 2013, it was over. No joint statement, no tearful magazine cover, no "we'll always remain friends." Just silence. A few months later Dara was arrested for DUI in Los Angeles, and suddenly tabloids that had ignored their relationship for years were digging through her past, including her 8 years with Hemmer. For a man who guards his privacy like a state secret, having an ex-girlfriend's arrest dominate gossip sites must have felt like a nightmare confirmation of every reason he keeps his life off the record. Since 2013 there has been zero confirmed romance. Not a single public dinner, red carpet holding of hands, or Instagram story with a mystery woman. Nothing. That vacuum has been filled by decades of speculation. Sandra Smith, his former America's Newsroom co-anchor. Their on-air chemistry was so strong that blogs wrote 1,000-word proof posts. Reality: Sandra is happily married to John Connolly and has 2 kids. Megyn Kelly, when both were at Fox, their friendly banter sparked years of "are they/aren't they" chatter. Both shot it down repeatedly. Dana Perino, the rumors that have lasted the longest. They sit 3 feet apart 5 mornings a week, finish each other's sentences, and clearly adore working together. Dana has been married to Peter McMahon since 1998 and has never addressed the gossip. Bill ignores it completely. Marla Maples, February 2019, New York Fashion Week. A photographer caught them seated near each other. Within hours the internet declared them a couple. Nothing ever came of it. The doctored photo incident, a fake shirtless picture, originally Tiger Woods with Hemmer's face poorly photoshopped on, went viral with homophobic captions. Hemmer reported it to authorities. Then made a rare on-air reference to "my girlfriend," just to kill the narrative. He offered no name, no timeline, no follow-up. The pattern is always the same: proximity plus chemistry plus Bill's silence equals instant rumor, but step back and the bigger picture comes into focus. Bill Hemmer's life is built around one non-negotiable priority: being physically present when history happens. He is the guy who stands in 140-mile-an-hour winds on a Galveston seawall so viewers understand what a Category 5 hurricane really feels like. He is the guy who flies to Kiev or Tel Aviv the day the missiles start flying. That level of availability is incompatible with the ordinary promises couples make: "I'll be home for dinner, let's book that vacation, we'll start a family next year." Close friends say the breakup with Dara crystallized something for him. After watching an 8-year relationship slowly suffocate under the weight of separate continents and impossible schedules, he appears to have decided that trying to force a traditional personal life into a breaking news existence simply causes more pain than it's worth. So he stopped trying. Instead, the newsroom became his family. His co-anchors, producers, camera crews, and control room staff are the people he eats with, travels with, celebrates birthdays with, and leans on when the stories get heavy. Every September he flies home to Cincinnati to host the George Niddle Memorial Bailey Place Golf Classic, raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for senior housing in memory of his grandfather. He quietly supports Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America and numerous first responder charities. He has deep, decades-long friendships that fill the space where a spouse and children might live in someone else's life. And he seems genuinely at peace with it. He has never once, in any interview, expressed regret about being unmarried or childless. He has never hinted that his life feels empty. When asked about relationships, he usually smiles, changes the subject, or says something like, "I'm married to the news." That is not a throwaway line. For Bill Hemmer, it's the truest thing he could say. In an era when every public figure feels pressured to live stream their weddings, gender reveals, and family vacations, Bill Hemmer's radical privacy feels almost rebellious. He has spent 30 years making sure the camera is pointed at the story, never at himself, and he has no intention of changing that now. So the next time you see him at 3 a.m. anchoring coverage of some unfolding crisis, calm, prepared, unflappable, remember that the reason he can be there, every single time, is because there is no one waiting at home wondering when, or if, he's coming back. Bill Hemmer isn't hiding a secret wife or nursing a broken heart. He made a choice, a difficult, deliberate, decades-long choice, to give the country what it needs from him, even when it meant giving up what many people need for themselves.